introduce yourself for our audience, please?
Okay, I am Leonard Rowe. I'm the father of a couple of Whitfield students, Lynn Rowe and Diamond Rowe. I'm a concert promoter, and I've been a concert promoter for over 30 some odd years, and I love that industry. But I also would like to say that I think that you are attending one of the finest learning institutions in this country at this level, which is Whitfield Academy. Now, let me explain to you what a promoter is, and what's your responsibility. When you go to Phillips Arena, the Fox Theater, and you see a show, an artist, the promoter is responsible for everything that goes on. He have to pay that artist. He have to pay the building costs. He pay the policeman. He pay for catering. He pay for production. He pays every cost that goes on that's affiliated with that show. What he have to hope is that ticket sale, and you all buy tickets to come see it. Because if you don't buy tickets to come see it, you still have to pay the same amount. So when a building is half empty, you take a loss. So some nights you lose $100,000 a night, but it's not that bad. Some nights you make that. Because once you reach a certain status, you are able to get the artist that's just about guaranteed to make money.
Could you tell us about some of the relationships that you did have? I know you touched that a little with the artists.
Oh boy. I have worked just about every major black artist there is. Prince, Stevie Wonder, Dinah Ross, Michael Jackson and his brothers, Janet Jackson, Whitney Houston. The list goes on. Michael Jackson was my closest relationship. We went through a lot together. Let me tell you a blessing that I got. A month before we got ready to go, every time I would meet with the guys at the home, after the meeting, Michael would walk me to the car. I was going back to the hotel. And he would tell me, he said, Rowe, look, I have a new album coming out. It's a solo album. He said, I think it's going to be good for us. I didn't pay him no attention. He never made one before. I said, Mike, that's good. We have another meeting, he would tell me the same thing. He would never say this in front of the rest of his brothers. I guess because he didn't want to overshadow them with his personal album, with his solo album. So, every time we would have a meeting, he would follow me to the car and he would say that. About 2 weeks before tickets went on sale, he looked around at the house to make sure no one was looking. And he reached in his coat and he brought out the album cover. And across the top of the album, it said, Off the Wall. That was the name of the album. Still not knowing what was on there, I said, that's good, Michael. That's great. But I'm thinking that Destiny, the album they done okay with, would help us. That next week, the single dropped, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. It went straight to #1. The album followed and became the #1 album in the world for weeks to come. We broke Elvis Presley attendance record in 17 cities. We made history every city we went to. And Michael and his brothers never looked back from that point on. He became the Michael Jackson that you know. He became the biggest star in the world. And we talked about that up until he died.
So you said you started in 74?
74.
What was the climate of discrimination in that time?
Discrimination was very prevalent at that time.
Right.
I had to overcome a lot of obstacles to go into the music. First of all, let me say this. The entertainment industry, still to this day, remain one of the most discriminatory and segregated industries in America. You've probably seen on television where Jada Pinkett, Will Smith, they're talking about boycotting the Oscars. Maybe y'all have heard about that. All black people don't want to go to the Oscars this year because of the discrimination. In my industry, which is the concert promoting industry, no black person in America are allowed to engage in a contract with a white artist. But a white person can engage in a contract with every artist, black or white. And that still goes on now. And I've been in a fight about that for the past 15 years. In 1998, I was elected president of the Black Promoters Association. That's an association that is comprised of all of the major black promoters in America. And it's not but a few of us. That industry is a closed society, closed. It's about 10 of us at one time. It's a little less now, nationwide. On the white side, it might be 20. And that's it, as far as promoters. But my problem with that industry, with the industry that I love so much, is that it's so segregated and discrimination is so prevalent. And I have spent the past 15 years fighting that, and it's been a hard fight. I filed a lawsuit with 3 more individuals in 1998. That lawsuit is still out here now. If you stand by and allow discrimination to happen, you're not helping those that come after you.
What kind of progress have you seen in terms of discrimination from when you started to now?
Not much.
Wow.
It's still there, but we're fighting. We're fighting. And eventually we'll get there. You know, people are resisting because you're dealing with so much money. The money is huge. This is $1 billion industry. And right now they're able to keep that money. And they do not want to obey the civil rights laws of this country. So we have to keep fighting. And we will keep fighting. But I can see an end coming here soon. All we have been trying to get is this situation in front of a fair-minded judge. Judges are so important because you have some judges that won't be fair, believe it or not. But you do have some that will be fair. And that's what we've been trying to do. And hopefully now we have it in front of a fair-minded judge.
What can we do as students, no matter our ethnicity, to show dignity and grace to everyone around us?
What you have to do is this, and what I think that all students should remember is this, that no one had a hand in creating themselves. God created us all. And no matter how you look upon another person, you have to always remember that God created that person. And one thing that helped me in life was this. No matter what you feel about a person, you have to remember somebody loved that person. Somebody loved them like somebody loved you. And so you have to treat that person accordingly. You know, that's something that they try to teach all police officers in the academy. Some ignore it. But they teach them, before you pull that trigger, you have to remember, somebody loved that person you're getting ready to shoot. No matter what you think about it, somebody loved it. So make sure that's your last resort, is pulling the trigger. And I say that to say this, to answer your question. Treat people like you would like to be treated. And you won't have a problem. And you'll be able to feel good about yourself. I love Kelly to feel good about myself. There's one person I can't stand not to like, and that's myself. I have to like myself. And if you live your life liking yourself and the things you have done, you won't have a problem with yourself. And so that's the message that I like to give to the Whitfield students. And I would like for the students to also know is that in life you're going to get knocked down, but don't stay down. Get up. Because if you think you're going to go through life without getting knocked down, it won't happen. So you got to remember that. You got to also remember that determination is one of the most important. Like I said to you before, I don't care who you think about. Whether it's Bill Gates, whether it's Steve Jobs, I don't care who you consider to be a great human being. If you look at each and every one of them that you consider to be great, Martin Luther King, whoever, you will always find that determination that all of them had. That's what they all have in common. They was determined and they would not stop. So I hope the kids remember that as they go off on their journey in life. You got to remember that. So whatever you get ready to do in life, be determined and you'll succeed if you are.